It's yours. It will always be yours.
Hey guys, what will be the most important word of Season 7? The answer? Sword. Book readers might know where I'm going with this. This video has nothing to do with plot, set, or cast leaks, but if the show does something that has already happened in the books, then this video might have a major spoiler, so close out now if you don't want to hear that. Again, there is a huge event that happened in the books that has not yet happened in the show. It's just a subplot, so maybe they skip over it, but I don't think so. I think we're going to see it. It will just unfold differently in the show. They will get to the same place, but leave out the magical element. Okay, so I'm going to break this video up into 4 sections. I'll put the time of them into the video description in case you want to skip any of them. First, we're going to do a high-level summary of Lady Stoneheart. Second, we'll review Brienne's oath to Lady Catelyn and her promise to Jaime, including her sword Oathkeeper. Third, we will look at the final Lady Stoneheart scene from the books. And fourth, we will theorize how this all may translate onto the screen in Season 7 or 8. So here we go, high-level summary of Lady Stoneheart. Melisandre of Asshai kills Renly with the Shadow Baby. Catelyn and Brienne run off. Brienne gives her oath to Catelyn, and then Robb captures Jaime. Catelyn and Jaime chat, and she lets him go free, on the promise that he will protect and free her daughters. This was something that Tyrion had offered to Robb Stark while Tyrion was Hand of the King. Jaime and Brienne bond on their journey together. He saves her from being raped, she tries to motivate him after he loses his hand, and he returns to save her, jumping into a bear pit one-handed and weaponless. Tywin and Roose Bolton make plans for the Red Wedding. Until today, I always assumed Jaime was aware.
Stark, I'm sorry I couldn't make his uncle's wedding. The Lannisters send her regards.
But now I'm not so sure. I'll save that topic for another day. Catelyn and Robb are murdered at the Red Wedding. The Starks lose the war. The Freys cut Catelyn's throat and throw her into a river. Meanwhile, Arya is traveling with Gendry and Hot Pie, and she's a warg. While having a wolf dream, she swims into a river and drags out Catelyn's body. The Brotherhood Without Banners finds her. Thoril says that she's been dead too long to raise her, but Beric Dondarrion kisses her. Beric dies, and Lady Stoneheart is born. The Brotherhood Without Banners, which is more of a Robin Hood type group, becomes a little darker under her leadership. And real quick, check this out. In the books, Thoril says, quote, "Some nights are dark and full of terror, my lady. War makes monsters of us all." Notice the spelling though. He is saying night as in a human night, as opposed to night as in the time of day. Quote, "Some nights are dark and full of terror, my lady." Pretty cool. Okay, back on track. So the Brotherhood Without Banners did 2 big things in the books, but I'll get back to those in the 3rd section of this video. For now, let's move on to section 2. Let's quickly review Brienne, Jaime, and Oathkeeper. This sword is made from Ned Stark's Valyrian steel blade ice. Giving this to Brienne is very important. It's a key moment in Jaime's character arc. And I'm not saying he's a straight up good guy from this point forward, far from it, but this scene is specifically designed to highlight that he at least wants to do better. He wants to fill in the blank pages in the Book of Brothers with some good deeds. He wants to regain his honor. In the novels, Jaime names the sword Oathkeeper. It's about his oath to Lady Stark, not just Brienne's. He explicitly asked Brienne to use it to find and protect Sansa.
I can't accept. It was reforged from Ned Stark's sword. You'll use it to defend Ned Stark's daughter.
And he literally says, "Sansa Stark is my last chance for honor."
Arya's probably dead too, but there's still a chance to find Sansa and get her somewhere safe.
In the show, they take this all away from him. They give it to Brienne. She names the sword Oathkeeper, and she reminds him in Season 6 that she is fighting not only for her honor, but for his.
I'll find her. For Lady Catelyn. And for you.
I like the book version better. It gives Jaime more agency in his growth, but Brienne certainly had a positive impact on Jaime's growth in the books as well.
You're a knight, Sir Jaime. I know there is honor in you.
They just give the Brienne rescuing Jaime part of the story a more prominent role in the show, which is fine. But the main point is, Jaime and Brienne are on the same page. Cersei blames Tyrion and Sansa for Joffrey's death.
Of course my sister wants Sansa dead.
So Cersei wants Sansa's head, whereas Jaime wants Brienne to find her first and protect her, which makes the big event that I'm going to tell you about so ironic. So here we go. This is your last chance to close out if you haven't read the books and don't want book spoilers. Section 3. Lady Stoneheart's final scene. The Brotherhood Without Banners did 2 main things in the books while they were led by Lady Stoneheart. First, they killed anyone related to the Red Wedding in even the most minute way. All types of Boltons, Freys, and Lannisters. We saw Arya kill some Freys in Season 6, and maybe she'll do more of that in Season 7. I don't think she's a Lady Stoneheart per se, I just think that it's a different subplot, a different way of getting some Stark redemption for the Red Wedding. But who was really behind the Red Wedding? The Boltons and the Freys were involved, but the true mastermind was Tywin Lannister. The Boltons and the Freys would not have done anything if Tywin Lannister, who was acting hand of the king at the time, hadn't promised them land and betrothals.
Riverrun was granted to the Freys by royal decree.
As a reward for betraying Robb Stark and slaughtering his family.
Exactly.
So killing Freys and Boltons, that's not enough. Lady Stoneheart really wants the heads of Lannisters, any of them, including Jaime. So here we go. The second big thing that the Brotherhood Without Banners did under Lady Stoneheart was force Brienne to choose between her own life and Jaime's. Here's how it goes down. Brienne and Pod haven't found Sansa yet. She's in the Vale still. Ramsay Bolton is married to a fake Arya Stark. Her name was Jane Poole. She was one of Sansa's Winterfell friends as a child. Randall Tarley fires one of his knights, and that dude tags along with Podrick Payne and Brienne. They get into a fight with some brave companions. Gendry saves Brienne's life. Gendry is still with the Brotherhood at this time. But they take her prisoner because it looks like Brienne is a traitor. We know the truth, but it's hard to blame them for 5 reasons. First, she's carrying a Lannister sword. It's made from Ned's sword ice, but let's be real, it has a gorgeous pommel of a lion head. It sure looks like a Lannister sword. Number 2, Sir Hyle Hunt is a former knight of Randall Tarley, who is a Tyrell bannerman. So the Brotherhood wonders, why is Brienne traveling around with someone that is linked to the Lannisters? Number 3, Podrick Payne is the former squire of Tyrion Lannister. We know Tyrion isn't like the rest of them. We know he treated Sansa kindly, we can read his thoughts in the books, he's a pretty stand-up guy. But Catelyn and others see Tyrion as the enemy, just like any other Lannister. Number 4, while they are bringing Brienne to Lady Stoneheart, she's having fever dreams because she was severely injured in the fight versus the brave companions. They knocked her teeth out, and Biter had bit off half of her cheek. While she's having these fever dreams, she's imagining a lot of different people. One of them is Jaime. So picture her, in and out of consciousness, dying as she lies across the back of a horse as they bring her to the caves, and she keeps yelling out Jaime's name. Jaime, Jaime. It looks pretty suspicious. And number 5, she's carrying a parchment from King Tommen, saying that she's out doing his business. Jaime gave her this parchment to help her out in a bind. Indirectly, this document was intended to help out Sansa. But unfortunately, it backfires. It makes her look like she's sleeping in the same bed as the Lannisters. And we know that's not true, figuratively speaking. And unfortunately, it's not true in a literal sense either. At least not yet. All we can do is keep our fingers crossed that they both survive and get to make some little sapphire lion cubs someday. You know what? I like that. I want to make a sapphire lion cub shirt in support of these 2 lovebirds. Let's get back to reality though. There's a better chance that they die because George is a big meanie. So Brienne tries to tell Lady Stoneheart that Jaime changed, that she is trying to honor Lady Stark by finding and protecting Sansa, and that Jaime wants this as well. But Lady Stoneheart is not buying it at all. She tells Brienne to call the sword Oathbreaker or false friend, just like Brienne is to her. Quote, words are wind, she says. She says that you must prove your faith. All she asks from you is Jaime Lannister. Jaime. The name was a knife twisting in her belly. Lady Catelyn, you don't understand. Jaime, he saved me from being raped when the Bloody Mummers took us, and later he came back for me. He leapt into a bear pit empty-handed, I swear to you. He is not the man he was. He sent me after Sansa to keep her safe. He could not have had a part in the Red Wedding. She says that you must choose. Take the sword and slay the Kingslayer, or be hanged for a betrayer. The sword or the noose, she says. Choose, she says. Choose. I will not make that choice. Hang them. So they do it. Lem Lemoncoke and some others bring her outside and hang her. And she's okay with that. She's willing to die. But then she noticed Podrick Payne. Here are the words from A Feast for Crows. Quote, Brienne felt the hemp constricting, digging into her skin, jerking her chin upwards. Sir Hyle was cursing them eloquently, but not the boy. Podrick never even lifted his eyes, not even when his feet were jerked off the ground. If this is another dream, it is time for me to awaken. If this is real, it is time for me to die. All she could see was Podrick, the noose around his thin neck, his legs twitching, her mouth open. Pod was kicking, choking, dying. Brienne sucked the air in desperately, even as the rope was strangling her. Nothing had ever hurt so much. She screamed a word. And for a couple years, no one knew what that word was, because this is the last we hear from Brienne in Book 4. But we do see her very briefly towards the end of Book 5, so we know that she lives. Whatever she said saved her life, at least temporarily. But it's shady. Jaime is out doing the king's work, and Brienne rolls into his camp, demanding to see him. She tells him that she's found Sansa, that she is only a day away, that the Hound has her, and that Jaime has to come alone or the Hound will kill her. This is a blatant lie. We have a lot of hints that the Hound has started a new life, similar to what we saw in Season 6 of the show. And we know that Sansa is at the Vale with Littlefinger and Robb and Arryn. We don't know if Jaime joins her. We don't know if she plans on giving him to Lady Stoneheart. We don't know if she plans on fighting him to the death. But we do know the word that she yelled out. It was sword. George R. R. Martin confirmed this at a conference. And it's not a stretch to assume that something big happens between Lady Stoneheart, Brienne, and Jaime in the next book, Winds of Winter. So how does this relate to the show? Let's go over the differences first. We don't have Lady Stoneheart in the show, and Brienne has already met up with Sansa. But there are other changes which seem to be prepping for a similar event. Primarily, we saw Brienne give Sansa her oath, and in the show and the books alike, part of that pledge is to not make Brienne do anything that would bring her dishonor.
And I pledge to ask no service of you that might bring you dishonor.
Which makes me think that Sansa will ask her to do something that brings her dishonor, namely to kill Jaime, just like Lady Stoneheart did in the books. But Sansa isn't Lady Stoneheart, and I'm not saying she's going to be. Lady Stoneheart had a wild card that made her ignore Brienne, that made her give Brienne an ultimatum. Lady Stoneheart had died already. She was a derivative of Catelyn Stark. She was not Lady Catelyn. She was a half-dead, single-minded vengeance machine. But that's nothing like Sansa. Sansa is alive, and she may not be the Queen of Winterfell, but she's in a better spot than she's been in for years. But there's a wild card which can change everything very quickly. A wild card that can convince her to set Brienne after Jaime. And that wild card is none other than the creepy, always whispering Peter Baelish, aka Littlefinger. I don't know if either Brienne or Jaime will die. I hope not. Like I said, I want to see them survive the war and make beautiful little sapphire lion cubs someday. But I'm expecting Jaime to sort of ditch Cersei. At some point, he's going to try to join the Rebel Alliance. The good guys, Jon and co., Davos, Sansa. He may even bring some troops with him. But instead of things going smoothly, Littlefinger is going to jump right in and get inside Sansa's head and cause some chaos. And if they are creative, the show writers will somehow work Podrick into the equation just like George did in the books. Keep in mind that Tyrion told Podrick to leave the city in order to protect himself.
And get yourself out of King's Landing before it's too late. Pod! This is farewell.
And then Jaime gave Pod to Brienne.
I have one more gift.
This didn't happen in the books, but it's pretty cool, because if they do use Pod as leverage to get Brienne to trick Jaime, that will be extra ironic since Jaime gave Pod to her in the first place. But yeah, that's it. Oathkeeper, Oathbreaker, false friend.
Honor compels me to fight for Sansa's kin, to fight you.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay, and as a side note, this video goes out to my first patron ever, Lauren. I love you, Lauren. I logged into Patreon a little bit ago to watch a video from someone that I follow, and I was completely shocked to see that I had a patron. I'm so used to seeing a big fat zero there. So thank you very much for making my day. I'm going to organize all my videos that I have planned, and I'll check in with you to see if you have a preference which ones we do first. I wish that I could do more than one a day, because there are a ton of fun ideas in the pipeline for various shows and movies. The days just aren't long enough, and my computer is just not fast enough. But yeah, thank you, Lauren, and thank you to everyone as always for supporting my channel by watching the videos, and even more importantly, for chatting with me in the comments section and helping me to understand these awesome shows, movies, and books. But that's it for this one. This is Kev. I'll talk to you guys.